We can see that that's lit up, so that's what I'm going to be shooting at. Dead on. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Think, Learn, Do. For this episode, I wanted to revisit a project I did a while ago. I wanted to make some targets, light up targets that I could shoot Nerf guns at. What I came up with was just doing a simple switch using cardstock, using some plastic for the spring parts, and just a RGB LED. And we'll have some copper foil tape in there, and it's a pretty simple project. The idea being, I had my RGB LED that would light up, right? And it just has its 3 pins. It's just your normal WS2812B with your data in, ground, and voltage. And I'm just going to be using my Arduino to drive these. And then when it lights up, I want to be able to shoot it with my Nerf gun and trigger it. So then what we do is around it, I'm going to have some, and this is going to be my copper foil tape. And it's going to have a lead coming off, and then actually on top of that, for our sandwich, it's going to be another set of copper foil tape. It's also going to have a lead coming off. The idea being that these two copper layers are sandwiched, right? And then the spring keeps them apart. And then when something with very low force, because I'm using these springs here, or this plastic here for springs, very low force can push these together, complete the connection. And my Arduino can read that this connection is made and the buttons have been pressed. And so from a side view, it's going to kind of look like this. We're going to have our first layer, and then the plastic's going to be my springs here on either side, and our second layer. And copper foil is going to be here, copper foil here, and then the LEDs kind of sit through the bottom here. It puts these together, and it triggers the program, the Arduino program. Show you how this gets put together. So, I think this is polypropylene. Just the nice thing about that kind of plastic is they have what is called they use these for what's called living hinges, where you just bend the plastic, and supposedly we can hold it pretty well being bent continuously. But anyways, the spring's going to just kind of look like that, and then we'll just tape these on here. Hopefully that'll be enough force to keep our edges together. You can kind of see how that kind of looks. You can just kind of push it with very little force to get those to go together. Okay, so the next part of this is going to be our copper foil tape. It's just got a sticky thing on the back here. We'll just put some in here. Try and get it so they intersect, right? So like one here, and the other one on the other side will be like, so they can intersect. And then we'll solder the pieces together to make it one continuous piece on each side. Alright, ready to solder on some wires. And one thing we need to do is, I've layered these pieces on each side. What we're going to need to do is make sure that we solder the connection, or make like just a little solder connection between these, because from what I remember, the backing on these isn't conductive, so we'll make a quick solder connection. And then I'm just going to take a wire and solder them onto each side, hopefully in a way that they won't interfere with the actual button working. Okay, we've got these soldered up. I think I can do a quick test here. Let's just see if pushing on this will connect the circuit. Okay, so we've got infinite resistance right now. No resistance, so that looks like that's, I mean I'm hitting it pretty fast, hopefully. I mean, when I push on it, it is definitely going to no resistance, which is what I want. So hopefully the Arduino will be fast enough to detect that. Alright, I've got my switch all hooked up now. I've got my LED hooked up with ground, signal, which is the data in, and then this one's power here. So this is powering, those 3 pins are powering this LED. And then for my 2 lines on my switch, I've got one going directly to this pin 7 on my Arduino, and the other end is just going directly to ground. And we'll do that because I'm doing this as an input pull-up. And so it's going to read high until I press it, which will pull it to ground, and then it'll read low. Then for my program, I've got it set up so it's just going to wait like 5 seconds and light up this LED, and then it's just going to wait until it gets pulled to ground, and it's going to know that I pushed the button, and it's going to turn it off and then wait 5 more seconds to turn on. So a simple program just to show it in action. Okay, it's lit up, and it's off. Easy as that. And hopefully this is, oh, didn't get that one very good. And then theoretically, if I hit this with a ball, it'll trigger. Well, we'll try it on the board and see what it looks like. I have had this work before, so we'll try it with my target I have set up and see if I can get it to work. Okay, so here's my array of targets. You can see the one down here at the bottom lit up. Sorry, the poor quality. With the lights on, it was really hard to see it. So we can see that that's lit up, so that's what I'm going to be shooting at. Dead on. Let's try a little further back. So anyways, there I was shooting it with the Nerf. And apparently that switch doesn't work very well, but yeah, you can see I can hit these pretty easy. It doesn't take much to trigger them, so that's pretty fun. So that's a fun way to make a little paper switch. I guess the good things about it is it's really easy to trigger. So if you need a switch that you can trigger easily, that copper foil tape works pretty well. And then one thing I forgot to do that might have helped when I was doing this earlier is actually we could have mounted this through the cardboard, and then you would have had a flatter surface to push against. And I think that's what I did with that other one. So you can see like this. So if you had it like this, and then you build your switch up on top of this, when you push against it, it's pushing against this flat surface, so it's easier to trigger. And that's what I did on that array over there. I just didn't show it on my build over here. So if there's anything I was going to change on this, I think next time I would make this out of like a clear or slightly clear plastic, so I didn't have to cut a hole in it. And then probably still do the back the same, but with that board with the hole in it. So that was fun. Thanks for watching.